Au-delà des nuages, des vents qui grondent. Sur terre, dans le ciel, le bout du monde. Info qui tourne et qui résonne. Le doc news capte chaque onde. Les nuages dansent le bas.
Salut à toutes, c'est le Doc News pour la news, j'espère que vous allez bien. Moi ça se perd en direction l'Australie, comme certains l'auront peut-être pas vu dans les news direction qui sont en France, mais moi j'ai vu un peu du côté de l'Australie, c'est un peu le carnage. Ils ont que 19 jours de carburant et actuellement les compagnies d'aviation n'ont plus de carburant en Australie, et quand je vous verrai avec ces petites vidéos que j'ai récupérées un peu sur Twitter, ça montre entre le vol de carburant et l'augmentation des fruits, parce que presque tout vient par bateau, autant vous dire, l'Australie est un peu dans la pommade. Donc voilà, je vous laisse avec la vidéo, n'hésite pas à liker, commenter, partager et abonne-toi.
Heartless criminals have started siphoning petrol out of cars parked on the street as the crime wave from the fuel crisis gets worse by the day. Now, the price of fruit and veggies across Sydney is skyrocketing as grocers try to cover their ballooning costs.
At the fruit and veg shop, the rising price of petrol leaving supply far from apples.
Rather than coming daily to the market, it's only coming maybe twice a week.
Pushing up prices, the worst produce transported from interstate, like broccoli. 25%
to 30% increases so far.
Impacting small business, food producer Elizabeth Hewson sources her ingredients interstate.
How long can I ride this out? And you don't really want to make a drastic change like increase the price straight away.
Today, 51 petrol stations across the state have run dry, 164 without diesel, but fuel still being bought in bulk. This at a Western Sydney servo.
If demand management procedures are required, that might be rationing. We're firmly of the belief that it should be a nationally consistent approach.
Petrol thieves in Victoria targeting parked cars, prizing open fuel caps, siphoning tanks. Shoppers adjusting their habits. Retailers.
More than 100 Victorian petrol stations have run dry, with both metropolitan and regional outlets affected by surging demand. 83 servos have run out of diesel and 101 have no unleaded. As the fuel crisis worsens, families are limiting car trips to save fuel.
Yeah, I'm considering PT where I can, like on the weekends. If I don't need the car, then public transport's the way.
The state government says there's no fuel shortage and blames demand, which has spiked by 400%.
Struggling households will have access to 3 hours of free electricity a day in a bid to relieve cost of living pressures and encourage working from home. But Selena Zhang tells us the offer won't be available to Victorians until October, months after other states.
Households tired of the bills mounting.
Grocery prices, electricity prices, fuel is insanity.
The state government trying to bring at least one of these prices back from the edge.
Households can save up to $300 a year off their power bills. If you've got solar and battery installed as well, those savings increase to over $1,000 a year.
Households with a smart meter will be offered 3 hours of free power in the middle of the day, 7 days a week. But while the offer's open to other states from July, it'll only be available in Victoria from October.
This offer will be available to potentially 2.6 million households. So 2.6 just in Victoria alone, 2.4 in the rest of the country. So we want to make sure we get this right.
It really only tinkers around the edges of what we see in terms of rising power bills.
It's not a great deal. It's not a great plan. You need a relief now.
Might be okay for people who are home all the time, but for young mums, dads, kids at school, they're not using the electricity, so what's the point?
While this offer is expected to help those who work from home the most, retailers say the cost of supplying all this free energy may have to be recovered during other times of the day.
It's really important that consumers think carefully before they choose to go on a tariff like this. You will need to shift a lot of energy consumption in the middle of the day to avoid higher power prices outside that free window.
The Energy Council says there won't be any hikes to existing plans, but there are plenty searching for alternative options, including political parties.
Pauline Hanson rules.
Selena Zhang.
Heartless criminals have started siphoning petrol out of cars parked on the street as the crime wave from